Hey family, this is Wekesa, Madzimoyo coming to you again. What I'm doing now is I'm in search of that family lore that we talked about. I'm in North Carolina now. Okay. I'll be in Virginia tomorrow. I'm looking for that family lore. Just talked to one of my oldest cousins. She's in the hospital. I got to get that family lore. On Sunday, I'll be back in North Carolina to talk to my oldest aunt that's living, Aunt Nell, actually Aunt Vernell. Right? I'm searching for that family lore. Now, y'all, this is really important. This is about the Family Lore Project, and I don't just talk it, I live it. Because this project, this class that I've been talking about that starts, the free session starts on April 13th, and the course begins in earnest on April 20th. This is about healing alienation and healing broken stories. It's no secret. Many of our families are estranged. We lost touch. We don't live in an agrarian society anymore. Some are in New York, some are in Buffalo, some are in California, some are in Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, all over. And with that, many of our families have become broken and fragmented. On top of that, we've had the Black consciousness movement. We have some of our family members that are Christian, some are not Christian, some are Muslim, and we have all of this fragmentation in our families. We're talking about healing that alienation, and this project is about doing it, and we're using stories to do it, okay? We're not talking about stories that we just make up. We're talking about actual family stories. Y'all, I want to remind you, okay, to where to go, okay? Go to our website, ayaed.com/HBS. Now, yesterday I made a mistake. I said HBC. HBS stands for Healing Broken Stories. We're healing alienation. That's the first thing. If you know my man Amos Wilson, what he says is we have to. If we're going to be successful as African-centered people, we have to do what? We have to heal alienation. And that starts with our families. So let's heal that alienation by connecting us and using the power of stories to do that. Right, so I just want to remind you of that. A couple other things, okay, that's so important about this class. I haven't talked about healing broken stories yet. I've talked about healing alienation, how we've alienated from each other, and that's not by accident. Okay, our educational system, the media, all of that encourages us to be alienated from each other and to become the individual. You see me, Mark. Yes, we're alienated, and we must heal that alienation. We also must heal broken stories. Okay? What's a broken story? Well, a story about my life that doesn't have me get up in the morning. Okay? A story about my life that says, my life is worthless. That's a broken story. A story that says I'm a failure. That's a broken story. All right? And many people are confused. They think that healthy stories are happy ever after stories. No. We're not talking fantasy here. We're talking about reality, all right? We're talking about knowing how to tell our stories, the real truth about our stories, and how to make sure that they are not told so that they become broken stories. You see, tragedy doesn't mean that it's a broken story. It's not what happens. It's what we make of what happens. The reason we go to the movies and we watch horror stories and we watch other things, or there's an accident on the road and we pay attention to it, because tragedy tells us what to attend to. Tragedy tells us what not to do. Okay? Tragedy tells us what to avoid. Come on now. Our families need to know what to avoid as well as what to run to. Okay? So enough of this, if it's about pain, then somehow it's terrible. Actually, research has shown, I want you to really hear this, that stress is only a bad thing when we tell ourselves, or mostly a bad thing, when we tell ourselves it's a bad thing. I want you to hear this, okay? Because most people run around and say, well, I don't want to be stressed, and we're too stressed out, and the cortisol running through our veins. I'm under a lot of stress. Well, guess what? When we choose to fight, when we choose to build in spite of oppression, when we choose to snatch our freedom from the tyrant's mouth, we're under stress. But that stress is freedom stress. I want you to understand, it's not just what happens, family. It's what we make of what happens. It's the story that we tell ourselves. We used to be Africans, the consummate storytellers. Now, we are story consumers. Now, we are story repeaters. Just like we can buy a Wi-Fi repeater that just keeps repeating. We repeat other people's stories. We consume their stories, even their stories about us. And we repeat their stories about us even when we are telling our stories. Y'all, we got to heal that, okay? Those become broken stories because those stories, other people's stories that come out of our mouths about us, is what holds us, helps to hold us in bondage. We got to know how to tell our stories, right, in ways that heal those broken stories. So I want to remind you again, okay, this is a powerful course. All right. You can attend the course. You can bring one other family member with you. Okay? That can be any family member from anywhere as long as they have an internet connection, because that's how the course is going to be taught. If you choose a high school student, you can go there. We don't want you to go lower than that, okay? So that we are telling stories together and you are extending to the family, okay? So we help you do 4 things. We help you find the stories, because oppression and injected oppression has hidden our stories, okay? All right, so we will help you find them, number 1. Number 2, we help you curate those stories. That's right, go to the website, ayaed.com/HBS, and you'll see what we mean by curate those stories. And then after finding them, 1, curate them, 2, then we write about those stories, okay? And sometimes there's a paragraph, sometimes it's an essay, sometimes it's pages, sometimes it's a line, sometimes it's a poem, but we write about it. And then number 4, we help you tell the stories. Because, you know, if we're going to be extending to our families, we can't just be writing. We also have to become the storytellers, become the jollies and the jelly musos like we were back home. You see, but the jolly and the jelly muso of today has an additional responsibility. Not just remembering the stories, but also healing the stories. I want you to join us, okay? I want you to go to the website, www.ayaed.com/HBS, and I want you to register, okay? And I want you to share this with other people, because this is revolutionary. I want you to know in each one of those classes, we will also feature one of the tools set that you know so well. If you've been following Aya Education Institute, you know the Warrior Healer Builder tool set. You know those are going to be all in there. You know we're going to be becoming emotionally literate and authentic as we go along the way. You know we're going to be using the rivers of touches as we go along the way. That's how we heal those broken stories. That's how we heal alienation. I can't tell you how excited I am about this class. It's an adult class. It's a dynamic class. It's using one of our oldest and most powerful tools to change our minds, to heal our families, to restore power, so that we can restore our people to our traditional greatness. I appreciate you checking in, appreciate you coming in. You know, Gary White, big ups to you, my brother. You know, Ife, Mope, you're the love of my life. I want you to help me share the stories, join the course, so that you can too learn how to heal broken stories and learn how to heal alienation in real time. I'll see you next time. I'm on the way. I got to get to Newport News, Virginia. I got to get some stories, all right? Then I got to get back. See, I'm in search of those family stories. Take care, y'all.